I'm Dr. Henry Creissen. I'm in the crop protection team at Scotland's Rural College, and my remit is to work on improving IPM practices and encouraging their adoption at farm level. Challenges facing arable farmers, and that's predominantly who I'm working with to encourage further uptake of integrated pest management practices. Brexit and COVID being obvious too, and the disruptions to supply chains and access to markets there um, adds pressure onto already strained farm businesses that have come out of a pretty a rough year in terms of the weather and the yields and everything that comes along with that. So that's something that we need to be addressing, and a lot of those sort of shifts in the way that we have this supply chains that go across multiple partners, they're probably going to be reduced a little bit as we've seen over the last year. So there'll be potentially more sort of homegrown produce being sold on our island. In terms of integrated pest management, there could be disruptions in the supply chains with regards to plant protection products and potentially seeds of newly improved varieties, which can have an impact on the way that we manage pests. And when I say pests, I mean any harmful organisms. So we're including weeds and diseases within that. That means that we need to be bolstering our attack, our management of these pests by integrating multiple measures so that we reduce our reliance on just one or two control measures, such as pesticides or newly improved varieties. IPM is about selecting the best possible combination of techniques to manage pests in a sustainable fashion. And it's very much a holistic approach to pest management. So we're not just considering that specific pest. We're looking at the impact of the management practices on other pests, on the crop, on the farm, and the wider environment as well. We need to know what pests are in the area, what pests are likely to pose a problem, and whether they're likely to reach the levels where they're going to have a detrimental impact in terms of the profitability of the crop. We need to be implementing the best measures to prevent those pests from becoming a problem, looking at ways we can monitor and survey them, and part of that is about detection and diagnosis of the pest problem. And then once we've selected suitable measures to intervene, we need to be also coming back and evaluating the whole process from start to finish to see how it can be improved. And IPM is a continual process. Well, one thing farmers can do is they can go onto the Plant Health Centre website and complete an IPM plan. So should only take about 20, 30 minutes to complete. It'll ask you a range of questions about the IPM practices you're currently adopting, the reasons why you're adopting such practices, where you go to for your source of information, because we recognise that that's particularly important for IPM, it being an information knowledge intensive process. You can complete this plan, and that should hopefully give you an idea as to where you sit in terms of IPM adoption, because along with that plan is a metric that will give you a score, a percentage score for the level of IPM you're currently practiced. And also it'll give you some feedback as to the sorts of areas that you may look to improve upon on your pest management strategy, and that can hopefully lead to an increase in your IPM score as well. So it may be something like consideration of diversifying the rotation, extending the rotation, thinking about weed maps, yield maps, decision support systems when you're designing a pest management strategy. And these are all sorts of things that it's going to be quite generic advice, but if you could sit down with your agronomist or your main advisor for pest management, then hopefully some solution, some strategy could come forward that would be improved based on this plan, and hopefully that will provide effective and sustainable pest management on your farm going forward. Farm Advisory website, you'll be able to view some materials that should hopefully inform you better about these IPM plans and IPM going forward. So we have podcast sessions with a key farmer and Professor Fiona Burnett as well. We should also have plenty of videos and other resources, fact sheets on pests and diseases that are available as well. There'll be videos that we've done on IPM, on farm events,